What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom. Period. We have Kuzie Bakweshe, Big Daddy K, Big
If
Mama
you
K,
nasty,
all of it.
The mother of the season, the legend of the season, the all-star of the season, the icon
The queen of the season.
Stop it, you
Did
guys.
you run the season? Don't I?
Don't
Period.
No, we loved you so much, Kuzie. And honestly, like just your name alone, Kuzie Bakweshe, it is beautiful. Like I loved it. Can you talk a little bit? Can you talk a little bit like the meaning behind it? And then also, where did you get the nickname Big Daddy K?
Big Daddy K. Okay. So my name is Kuzie Bakweshe. It's a Zimbabwean name. It means the knowledge of God or the will of God, or it can be flipped around in a few ways, like but basically that's the meaning. And I go by Kuzie for short. Some people call me Kuziva, some people call me Cuckoo, some people call me a lot of things. Yeah. And then Big Daddy K. Big Daddy K was just like, I don't know, it's an alter ego, call it that. And it's just that, it's the aura, it's the lion aura behind me, the me that that you saw.
Did you gave it to yourself, or did somebody else call you Big Daddy K?
Yeah.
I feel like somebody gave it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody gave it to me, but also there's also this one girl, theft. She calls herself Big Daddy M. I'm like, so somebody saw that with me and they're like, you're like a Big Daddy K. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stick beside it. So that was it. I'm like, perfect fit. I love it.
I love it too.
Yeah.
Okay, Kuzie. So you ate up the season.
Thank you.
And now you're at home. You get to see all of the reception of the season, about you, about everybody in the house. How are you feeling now that you get to see kind of how the people felt, I guess?
Yo, listen, I'm actually so scared to watch the show. Why? Because like a lot of people are like, oh, she's a freaking bully. How dare she say that disgusting remark? How dare you tell somebody to shut up? I'm like, have you guys watched Big Brother?
Literally.
But people think that I'm like so mean, or like I'm this bully, I'm this toddler, I'm this baby, or whatever. I don't know. It's I don't know. But there's a lot of people who actually really loved everything. So I'm like, it's overwhelming, but I'm so grateful, especially for the people that are like, you made the season what it was, and I make sure that I respond to everybody. I try so hard to respond to everybody, Yeah. It's been good. It's been I've been shocked a little bit too by some of the things that I've seen on Twitter. Twitter is a nasty place. I didn't see it. Listen, it's just also like I'm trying to not respond, right? I'm trying my hard. Sometimes I can't not respond, but sometimes I'm trying so hard not to respond because I don't necessarily want to. I don't know. There's people's opinions. They're allowed to have it, right? But some of the things are so ugly,
I mean, when people's opinions are rooted in negative places, I mean, sometimes it has to get clocked because you're just being weird right now.
Yeah.
Actually.
Listen, my first instinct is to clock it right there, but the bit of me is just like, you know what? Calm down. It's okay. It's fine. Don't get angry. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to talk. I mean, when you're a polarizing figure, when you're an icon such as yourself, people are going to talk. So, I mean, it comes with the territory.
Thank you. Stop that thing.
So, I did want to say, because I know you mentioned being a fan, not so much of a super fan, but you have seen the seasons and things like that. Was this like a dream to be on Big Brother, or was this like I'm going to apply and then bloop, you got it?
No, listen, I've been watching Big Brother from like Big Brother Africa. And it's different then, but I'm just like, I like this. But I was so scared because I'm like, what if the public doesn't like me? But then this one is like, it's internal, right? So it's like you're managing in the things internally. So I'm like, this is a game. I like this. So I started watching it. Somebody, my friend Sean, he's like, you should be on this show. I was like, you think so? So I watched it and I'm like, I'm in. I started watching all the episodes for like a couple of years. And then I'm like, I think I'm ready. I tried for last season. I got to the like the near end, and then they cut me. I was so sad. what? I see how I didn't fit in. I don't think I would have fit in with last season.
I agree. I see you much better on this season.
Yeah, I think this was the right time for sure.
And then also, I think what's great with, of course, like the new era with the 50% rule, we've gotten a lot of icons that look like us, just minority POC. And I love how I think moving forward, a lot of people are going to look at your game as an inspiration. So I want to ask, like, who did you see as an inspiration for yourself going into the game?
A bunch of people, actually. I'm going to start from the... Okay, so it's going to be very obvious that I only watched particular seasons. Let's go. Season 2. I really liked Neda. Really liked Neda. I felt like, she was doing the things in there, you know. I liked Aika too, but she left too early, you know. She was trying to get the girls thing going. She left a little too early, but that's fine still. Season 5, Aika all the way, you know. I loved Dre. I loved her. I also liked, believe it or not, just the sweetness of William. William was just so sweet, you know. But anyway, and then in that season, Cindy. Cindy in her season 2, I really liked them. In her original season before she came back on season 5. And then going forward, and then I saw season 8. I was actually really beginning to like. He was a menace. It was a menace, but I was actually beginning to really like Jamar. But then that was cut short, so didn't get much of that. Don't know how to base, gameplay. Was it season 9 when Spicy V came on, Tisha, Jensen, Kifa, all of them. I was like, these people. I really liked. I was trying so hard to be like Tishan, where like I never hit the block, never, and I'm just this guy. This person just loved, Tried it, didn't work, obviously. But yeah, and then season 10, Betty, Summer. I actually also liked. I actually also really liked Kevin Jacobs. I don't know. He got to the end. I was very angry, but I really liked him. I was like, this guy.
No, he deserved that. He did.
Yeah, he did. He worked for it. He did. He did deserve it. He was so funny too. Yeah, liked a couple of people for sure. And listen, underestimated player Karen.
Shout out to Karen.
Listen,
shout out to Karen. I like Karen.
I love me some Karen. Honestly. Yeah.
Period.
So
I like that, and I feel like it makes sense because going in and seeing how you played, I can see the mixture of the games that you're mentioning. Honestly, I really liked your gameplay throughout. Sometimes because there was sometimes.
What did you like?
Nah, I'm playing, but no, a lot of the girls, the fans, were like, "Hold on, Kuzie." Sometimes because your first HOH week with the decision to take out Zach. Actually, let's talk about that first.
Okay.
So on that week, first of all, I talked to Zach about it.
Yeah.
Zach was telling me he was telling me a lot of information about that week as if he, knew what was going on. So how about you tell us what was going on?
First of all, the thing was at this time, because what was happening is Zach and Ty were like running this house. I gotta give them credit. The ways in which they were doing it, I don't know if I agree with it, but they had a hold on the house. People, JM left and people were crying tears. And they voted him out crying tears, knowing I don't want to vote JM out, but they were crying tears. But because of the influence of Zach and Ty together like this, they were unstoppable. I will not lie. But then I started to not like it. I'm just like, nah, you guys are doing a lot. You're playing too hard. You're playing too fast. But I guess their approach was being, aggressive with it. They had an aggressive approach. Fine, to each their own. Now comes my HOH. And, the petty reasons behind sending Rob home. I liked Rob, I really liked him. He was a nice guy. The petty reasons to send him home were like, I don't know. Yeah. So then, anyway, I'm like, I might only have one chance to have HOH. Some people only HOH once. Some people are never HOH. So I'm just like, I've been given this chance. It might be my only one. I need to make sure that whatever I do, if I go next week, my move is felt, right? And then Zach was always telling me about like, my friend Emmett tells me that you'll always regret not making the move when you have the chance, blah, 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 blah. And I'm listening to him. I'm like, I like it. And then he was like, he pulled me into the pantry. He's like, look, take out the person that's controlling your game. I said, thank you, sir. Thank you. I like it. So, and then now they were like, oh, take out Renee because Renee is your biggest threat. I said, how does that make sense? So they're like, oh, Renee this. But then also I'm seeing like, you know, they call Renee the block star and all of that. And she's smiling at it, but I don't know. I don't think she liked it. I think it was actually getting to her because she came to be, you know, phenomenal. Calling the block star, calling it this. I'm like, you know what? I feel like I'm going to need this girl later on, you know. Let's keep her. I like her. I see her trying. She knows she doesn't even have to campaign, but she's trying. And I can only appreciate a player, you know. So anyway, I'm like, I put up Santina. Why? Because Santina at that point was still, you know, with the guys. And if she had gone home, it wouldn't have been, it's like no loss to me. It's like I'm splitting up the guys still, right? Vanessa, because it just seemed like that was the obvious thing to do. She had blown up the house, you know, but at that point, the target would have been Santina. And Vanessa is just a pawn. And then also I'm just like, Vanessa, I want to give you a chance to actually go and make relationships again, to go and talk to people again. Cool. She didn't like it. She didn't, because I didn't tell her, okay, you're just a pawn. I didn't know who she would tell it to. So I just kept it at, you know, just gonna nominate her. So I wish she had stayed. I just feel like maybe I'm the one that you know, pushed her enough to now go home. Anyway, that's fine. But my thing was, Ty and Zach still wanted to save Santina. Right. And had they won that veto, whoever it is that saves Santina, I'm gonna put their partner on the block. That was my game plan. I'm saying a plan A, plan B, plan C, right? And then now, I needed a thingy, a replacement nominee. I'm like, okay, Hope has been offering himself to the block, but also he's the one person that I know that if he plays hard in a physical competition, this guy can win.
Exactly.
I was like, Hope, I need you to do me this favor, please. You're the only person I'm going to tell my whole plan to. Please do it. But at this time, I feel like Hope also told me like, please don't say no. I'm Zach, because you know I'm just like, I didn't even listen to the reasons. I'm like, just please help me. I will have your back going forward. Please. Hope did what he did. Zach's on the block, and voila. I think he ended up now going home because everybody came to him and said, you know what, we can't save you. Exactly. That was a long answer. I'm sorry.
It's okay. How did you? So like leaving this week, this is when we saw you link up really closely, or more so closely with the Girly Pops. It was the Shady Bunch and the Girly Pops. So going forward from this week, you were kind of thinking that's going to be your end game, kind of like, like, okay. So we saw this kind of lead up to your next HOH, because when you got HOH again, it wasn't a normal week. It was a chain of safety.
Yeah.
But you still wanted Santina to go, I think, that week too. So going into that week, do you feel like you regret that decision in any way? Because you mentioned, I think, in the jury, wanting to work closer with Santina. So how do you feel about that decision?
Do you know what? I feel like, hey, it was so close. I wish I'd had more. I had one day to decide, like some hours. I wish I had a bunch more time, because initially I was actually going after the Girly Pops. Why? Because that final 6 thing, I didn't even want to hear it. It mattered nothing to me, because they almost disappointed me. In the week of Zach, they're like, oh yeah, let's do it. Girl power. And then Zach starts talking to them like, hey, I'm still really having a hard time. Do you want this man to stay in this house? He's gonna laugh in my face. If that had said, I would have been tormented for the rest of the game, honestly. And it was so close. They were close to just like flipping and keeping Zach. And I'm like, that's not the girls' alliance that I need. The girls' alliance that I needed was Santina, to be very fair. And I tried to work with Santina, but Santina, it takes time to trust people. I feel like because initially her trust was in Ty and in Zach, or like in Hope, it stayed there. And so to put it fully on me, she was hesitant. And I'm just like, why is she hesitant? Because I'm so willing. Why is she hesitant unless she's planning to take me out? And Santina did not come to play a small game. Santina came to play. And she told me, like, I'm not here to make small moves. I'm here to make big moves. But by the time that Zach thing had happened, I'm now the big move, right?
Yeah.
So that was my fear. Like, Santina's going to get me before I get her. So I'm just like, okay, cool. And then at this time also, like, I feel like her and Anika were not at par. And I'm also thinking about my group, right? Because if Santina wins. She's probably gonna take out Anika. At this point, I'm just like, I still want to protect Anika. I'm thinking that, you know, we're all on the same page, but you know, I wish I actually had kept Santina. I think that was my most expensive mistake for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we definitely. It was a point where we were like, we need that final two. We need the Kuzie Santina final two.
Yeah.
Like it would have been so iconic. It really would have.
It would have been for sure.
So okay, because we really could have got you winning. Okay, but I do want to ask. Kind of bouncing off of that one more time is, do you feel like you underestimated the girly pops? Do you feel like that was a detriment to your game, or if that was a thing?
Do you know what? I don't feel like I underestimated them. I could see that they were a tight-knit trio. I could see that. I feel like maybe I overestimated the crown. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because we were expecting that there's so many of us. The advantage will always be in our, you know, but we lost time after time after time after time, which is, it didn't make sense. So it's not that I underestimated them. It did not.
We were all confused.
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, right? So it's not that I underestimated them. I overestimated us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking back, do you think you would have, I guess, not been so loyal to the crown? Because once you guys chosen the crown, it seemed like you kind of stuck with them for the most part. It was like, and that kind of split the house in two.
Yeah.
Would you have played that middle a little bit more, maybe?
Yeah, so with the crown, so your question is basically like, would I have, going back again, would I have stuck with them like this? I feel like I would have. Why? Because what we came together for was great. The only problem is that we didn't win after that.
Yeah.
Because had we won, we had the greater advantage. There were more of us than there were in the house, right? So had we won, there was 5 of us versus 3 girly pops and 1 type, right? We had the better advantage. We still had Hope. We still had Johnny, you know. And Santina. And Santina was still there by the time. Yeah. So Santina's on her own. Ty's on his own. There's 3 girly pops. There's 5 of us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You were in majority.
The better advantage, right? Yeah. But that obviously didn't work out. But yeah, I feel like I really, for the reason that I chose them and they chose me, like we really liked each other.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
Yeah, we liked each other in that game.
Yeah. And then I feel like you've mentioned too before, like, you know, this opportunity being a girl from Zimbabwe, and we saw in the house, you know, you mentioned how, you know, wanted to give some of your resources to your family in Zimbabwe and things like that. Can you speak a little bit about your upbringing with your family and things like that? And have you spoken to them after this experience? How have they seen you in this house?
Yeah. Oh man, I had a colorful upbringing. Like I'm from Zimbabwe. Born and raised. I'm also half South African. My dad is South African. And I grew up in, fun fact, I grew up in like boarding school, basically from the time that I was 7, turning 8. I was in boarding school until 18. So I'm so used to being in a big brother house. That's the first thing. I'm used to talking my way out of situations. I'm used to being with girls. I'm good at, you know, talking to girls. I'm good at girls. I'm good at guys too, because, you know, all we had to do is talk on the phone. You have to use your words, right? Listen, I'm a wordsmith. I think I am. But yeah, so grew up in wow, English. Can you tell us my first language? So yeah, grew up in Zimbabwe, and I came here when I was 19. And then started school, and then work, and then did I answer your question? Was your question answered, or did I just like divert?
I think I want to also get, like, have you spoken to them after this experience? Like, were they able to see you in the house at all, or?
My family. They were. Listen, everybody was cheering. I don't know how the hell they watched these episodes, but they were watching episodes. They were seeing things. They were on Twitter. My grandmother was even asking, like, what what's happening? You know, like, people were so proud. My family all over. I've got family in England. I've got family in Zimbabwe. I've got family in Canada. Family in all of the world, and they all made an effort to watch. And I'm just like, the worst thing for me is I feel like, did I disappoint them by not winning? You know, because I know that they were rooting for me, and I could have done so much with the win. But now, you know, hopefully things come about and I can do much more than, you know, than I expect.
Exactly.
Yeah, with the platform as well, you know, you can do bigger and better things now, so that's great.
Yeah.
And then after the show, we've seen that of course the Shadiest Bunch you guys have made up. It was all fun and things like that. Were there conversations had, because we saw like towards the end, it seemed like there was a breakdown of the personal relationship, which I personally was like, oh, I hate that, because I think we all love watching the three of you play the game together. Like, have you guys kind of worked past that now?
Yeah, so for me, I think the most important thing to know is that this was a game. So people, how they act when they're also trying to win. Everybody is trying to win. Nobody's there to support anybody else's game. So like frustrations or things that were said in the game, it's because they're also trying to win. If they're frustrated at me, they're frustrated because they don't want me to win. Obviously, because they want to win, right? So I understand that. And like, that's why I feel like I'm going to take some time before I watch the show so that I can actually work on a personal relationship with people, rather than do that and then always judge them knowing that they said this about me on a show and this is there for the whole world to see. So, you know, there were conversations had. I feel like Anika and I, in the first 2 days of jury, we did not speak. It was bad. It was bad because I was just like, oh my goodness, like, we're out of the game. Why are you shouting at me? You know, but of course, you know, you're hurt because you care about your game that much, right? You wanted to win too. But yeah, we worked past it. We spoke in length, and you know, apologies flew out here and there, and you know, just like we had a better understanding of each other and like where people were coming from. So
that's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of wanted to ask because we didn't get live feeds, so we didn't really understand the, I guess, depth of the relationship. So I kind of did want to ask, when it came to Daniel and Anika particularly, or just anyone in the house, honestly, how was that relationship kind of throughout the season? Because at first we were like, is Kuzie closer to Anika? And then later on we were like, it seems like she's more close to Daniel. We could not decipher because we didn't have enough information. Could you speak a little bit about your relationships in the house, even if it's with other people?
So my relationship with Anika and Daniel, I was closer to different people on different parts of the game. Okay, right? Because I feel like with Daniel, I could talk to him like game and he would fully understand the picture. With Anika, I could talk to her logic and she would fully understand it. So especially in the time that I was HOH, the person that I would rely more on is Anika, because anything that I'd like bounce off things. And I'm like, Anika, am I crazy? She said, no, that makes total sense. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And we would work through it and all of that. So at different parts of the game, I was closer to different people. At the very end, I did catch on to their final two. I did feel left out a lot. So I began to actually just detach myself, because, you know, sometimes where you don't fit in, you really feel like you don't fit in, you know. And I was really beginning to feel it. And I'm just like, oh, you know what? It's fine. It's a game. Maybe they chose each other from the beginning. I didn't know that for sure there was a final two, but I did feel it. So, you know, it's dwindled as that, but it's the game. It dwindles towards the end because now you've got to be selfish. Now you've got to play for yourself. You've got to play for what's your best to win, right?
Exactly.
So that's just how it was. I had a bunch of other relationships in the house though that you know meant really like a lot to me. Yeah,
that's good. And I noticed like towards the end, because towards the end of your game, you kind of did get really close to Ty, or like you and Ty were back and forth a little bit, but at the end it was a lot of game talk and just normal talk with Ty. And then that you went into the jury kind of telling him some information, giving him a lot of help. How would you describe your relationship with Ty, especially considering, I mean, you gave him your vote?
Yeah.
All of that. So how do you feel about your relationship with Ty?
Yeah.
How did you feel about it?
Yeah. So with Ty, I feel like I came in and immediately we clicked. Immediately. Like,
yes, because y'all made, that's the thing, because y'all made like a night one thing where he kind of came to you. He was like, I mean, hey, we see each other. Like, we see each other. You, and he was talking about Amal too. He was like, you and Amal and me. So that was.
And with Ty, like, okay, what happened is Santina, him, and Zach. They now, because Santina won, right? So they rushed her. And I was left out. So I'm like, y'all leaving me? I thought we came in the four of us. Why are you guys leaving me out? But between the three of them, Ty always came back to me with information, and he would keep me in the loop. He was looking out for me. I will not lie. That guy was looking out for me for sure. I feel like even to Zach, Ty was looking out for me. And so I think that the hate part started when now I got HOH, and I just did not like the way that Zach was doing things. Ty, I could forgive it because this guy was closer to me. I can see the logic in him. I can see, I appreciate him. This is my friend. This has become my friend. I can advise him. I can tell him you're being stupid. I can talk to him, you know? Even if he decides to do something very stupid, you come back to me. I'll tell you the truth. I'll still love you, right? So that was okay. I had to put up Zach. That's when the disconnect happened. And then I was so sad when he nearly walked out. I was stressed. I'm like, wow, did I disappoint this guy to the extent of like walking out, you know? But it was still love. But at that point, I'm just like, Ty is going to try for me. He's going to try for me. I was scared because I'm like, he's probably wanting to get even, right? So he's either going to go after me or he's going to go after somebody that's very close to me. Fair. But I don't know if you saw a conversation that I had. I was like, you know what? It's all love. It's still all love. But at that point also, I'm just thinking Ty is such a big threat in this game. I feel like I need to get him out because he's going to come after me. And it was hard to take his word because I'm like, I know that he was always saying to me, Ty doesn't get mad. Ty gets even. And he would say it to me and he would look me in the eye. I'm like, what are you trying to say here?
Like, what are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say? So I was, that always kept me, you know? But then at the very end, I'm just like, you know, we're speaking of, we want to eliminate the guys and play at a level playing field, but it was never fair for Ty. From the time, I feel like his humility moment was him stepping out of the diary room and saying, you know what, head down, I'm still going to play. You know, I missed the embarrassment. He came in, and from then he was playing a lone wolf game. I will not he was playing a lone wolf game, and odds were never great for him. So for him, I feel like he had the biggest disadvantage. His only advantage was the strength in competitions. That's it. Right. And so, especially towards the end, I was just like, no, what? My own team does not ride for me the way that Ty does. Ty has every reason to hate me, but he doesn't. And my own team that I've been loving, that I've been doing everything for, like anything that I do it for the good of my team too. And I didn't think that they appreciated me or they you know, like that. They chose each other and nobody chose me. Everybody else chose each other. You know. So I'm like, I'm gonna go back to the love part of our love relationship. I love his relationship, you know. So it was important for me. If I'm going home, I would rather see Ty win. If not me, Ty.
Yeah.
Okay, so that leads into your jury vote. Like so do you feel like injury kind of the whole time you were just like, I'm gonna vote Ty? Or did it waver, or how did you feel during the jury segment of the game?
For me, I came in swinging. I came in swinging for Ty.
Period.
I said it in my exit interview. I said, Ty, listen, my work is not done. I'm going to the jury. I'm going to go and swing in there for Ty. Towards the end, I feel like people were also like, I don't want to be a bitter person and say Daniel has done nothing, because there's a reason that I chose him. The reason that he chose me. There's a reason that we chose each other is because he's somebody that if I don't win, okay, I'm happy for you to win too. You know, he's a good guy. You know, he talks to people sweetly. He does this. So Daniel had a good chance of winning too.
Okay.
I feel like at that point, the only person maybe that I wouldn't have given my vote is Claudia, because she's standing between two people that I would rather vote for before her. But I will not deny it. Claudia played game. Okay. That girl played game. She did.
You think so? So you feel like it's no shade.
Tell me how you really feel.
But I would love to know from like the perspective of a player, because we talked to Ty, and Ty was respecting her down to, you know, she got a lot of respect, and we did see it. But you know, from our perspective, Claudia was gonna lose in final three. You know, Daniel was gonna win. So that's what I was wondering. Like, why do you think that is? why do you think the general, because you make sense. It makes sense for you to want to vote Ty or Daniel, but everyone in the jury, there was girly pops in the jury. There were people who had a closer relationship to her. So why do you think it was that way for Claudia in the
Because
end?
Claudia, the way in which she played, she didn't manage her jury okay. Especially for me. So with me, she would say things. She even brought the idea of a Final Four to me. She's the one that brought it to me. She said, don't you think that would be a good Final Four? You, me, Renee, and Ty. I was like, yes. Okay, cool. Let's make it happen. I leave her for 2 minutes. Boom. She's now wanting to take me out. I'm like, but you've been saying this and this and this and good representation.
Where is
right? Yeah. And then so like a lot of things that she was saying didn't really make sense. And I heard a comment that she said like she would rather ask for forgiveness rather than permission, at the end of the thing. I'm like, no, jury management is really important. So just to prove it for future seasons that like it's important to manage your jury while you're still in the house. Don't think that your final speech at the end, listen, everything that she was saying in her speeches was great. I will not lie. Her final speech, all of that, it was great. But that alone cannot save you.
That's so interesting because I think everything's big thing was that Ty was going to have the jury management argument. People would think like Ty was not managing the jury well. And I remember Farrell was saying that he feels like Ty had a relationship with everyone in the jury as opposed to Claudia, who did not. So that's just really interesting coming out like, we really had the wrong read. I think the audience in general.
Yeah, the thing with Ty. The thing with Ty, hey, is like Ty had like personal relationships. So you wouldn't go and see him like going into rooms, hey. He made sure like on my last day, at my dying hour, he's the only one that sat with me. Well, not because I didn't want to be everybody, but I was comfortable enough to just want to sit with Ty alone and just tell him my whole heart. Johnny, when he left, they left on a good page. Hope when he left, they left on a good page. Things like that. It's important that people know how you made them feel at their dying hour. That's the most important. That dying hour is something that will stick with somebody until the game is over. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Hey. And then also, I really want to. This question is for my own vindication because I thought this entire time I was like, if Claudia is in Final Three and she were to cut Ty, she would win the game. You're saying,
period. No shade, but like that's what I was thinking the whole time. Me and Lee were arguing. I was like, I still think the girl.
If Claudia went up there and was like, I'm cutting Ty, I got him out, I put up my showman, he's out of the game, y'all would be like, she deserved it.
No.
But that's the thing.
The thing is, she made the right decision by keeping Ty. Why? Because the money is within the household. You see? Because
I'm not doing
right. So if she had chosen Daniel,
but this is my thing.
I'm benefiting either way. Ty said he didn't want the money.
Child, he did. He will give it away.
Nah.
But
she's gonna lose regardless. Yeah.
When it comes to the crown, Jonathan and Hope, they kept saying they vote on crown no matter what. Yeah. Does that mean, if Anika's at the end or if Daniel was at the end, do you think like how do you feel about Anika's chances? When it came to Daniel, you said that he would have beat her. Is that because of the crown or is that because of just in general Daniel's that girl because he played a good game? And with Anika, do you think Anika would have beat Claudia too?
I feel like Anika and Claudia might have won.
Okay.
Because, and I don't know how people are gonna chew me up for this, but for me, although the crown was very important, it's very important. It was a gang of my friends. You get me? But I came here alone. I came to play Big Brother. I came to see, had somebody like me, like let's say I was at the end and I don't have this big alliance, but I've played a damn good game.
Yeah.
And people don't vote for me to win simply because I wasn't part of the alliance. How fair is that? That's not fair. That's not the gamer that I came to be. I came to give a deserved win. Right? I would have loved for people to vote for me and vote for me to win because I deserved it, rather than because I was part of the alliance. Right? I want to go home and sleep at night and say, I won because they saw me worthy.
Yeah.
Right? So for that reason, I would also give that same honor to somebody that I see like has played completely, fearlessly, has overcome all those things, So I feel like at that point people probably would have said Cece.
Okay.
Because she tried. She really tried that girl.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right then.
Why you look like you don't agree?
No, I do agree. I was just.
Who do you think would have won?
No. I do agree. I just wasn't sure. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I was not sure about Jonathan's influence in the jury. The way I felt was that Jonathan had a lot of influence, and I was like, if he's feeling some type of way, if he's like pushing an agenda, I thought he might succeed regardless. And so that's why I was scared for Ty initially, because I was like, "Ooh, if he is mad at Ty," because they were editing those jury segments anyway. Because
by the end of the Ty at all. Anymore.
By the end of the day, I was like, "Girl, it didn't give Ty was winning," but I think they were just editing that way. Yeah. So from what we saw, I was like, Jonathan might be very much so anybody in the crown's winning, period. And I'm going to make everybody else feel that way. And I know he doesn't seem like that type of personality sometimes, but I was still like, ooh, that's what it was giving by the end.
No, Johnny is loyal. Let me tell you, Johnny is loyal. He's very loyal. He's lovable. Listen, everything that people think about Johnny is true. He is a nice guy. But, you know, with my conversations with him at the jury, especially, he's just like, you know what, I'm a fair guy. And yeah, I'm a fair guy, and I truly believe it, and I think that's also why he ended up giving Ty that vote, because he's fair. He sees it. As much as he might not have liked some interactions with Ty, he sees the game, you know, more than all the other little things, which are big things, but you know.
Yeah, that's really the grand scheme of it all.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough then. Yes. Okay, Kuzie. Next season or whenever it's All Stars, they will be calling you.
You think so?
Yes,
girl.
They better be.
Anyways, either they will call you or I will call them. That's their options.
Listen, I will give you their number.
We will harass them.
No, they're going to be calling you. Are you going to be answering?
Listen, I feel like if I got the opportunity, I enjoyed the hell out of that game. I was enjoying myself. I was having a good time. I was enjoying dancing in the kitchen. Listen, it was great. I loved it. So I don't think that I would turn down an opportunity unless like maybe there's something that's happening in my life, you know, or I'm getting married or something. Things like that. But I feel like, you know, anytime Big Brother calls, I would probably answer.
Period.
Because you need your win. You need your win, Kuzie.
Oh, you were so close.
Listen, yeah.
Okay, period. Was there anything else you wanted to tell the fans, the people, whoever, yourself? I don't know. Do you want to say anything?
I want to reiterate that I am not a bully, guys. I'm not a bully. I'm a nice person. Oh my goodness. Yay, people are like, that bully.
Because that's the thing. Because the comment that people mostly talk about you made towards Renee. How was you and Renee's relationship? Tell
you know what? Thank you for asking. See, with Renee, she was also in a trio. I was in a trio. I was the third wheel. She was the third wheel. We connected. And anything that I said to Renee was always pretty much truth. Like I actually was determined to look out for that girl. And we had shared so many conversations that are so deep and meaningful, and you know, and I felt like, you know, I like this girl from the beginning. Even when I went against Ty and Zach, it saved Renee's ass too, because they were suggesting her, and I'm like, hell no, not happening. Of course, I'm like, how is she a threat to me? How is she a threat to me? But I really wanted her to play. Santina went out on a unanimous vote. Remember that. Also because I said, no, we're sticking to the plan. Santina, that's it. You know, so all this time I had, you know, been looking out for her, because I feel for her. I don't like people calling her Blockstar. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this, you know. And she was always telling me, she told me, like, you know, you're safe. You're not going on the block, and all of that. So, of course, my guard was a little down. My guard was up with everybody except Renee. Except Renee. I allowed myself to feel emotion towards that girl, you know. Yes. And so now when it's like, I have to strike while the iron is hot, I'm like, hello. So with me, with saying, shut up, I'm just like, I don't even want to hear this right now, Renee. Why are you saying all of this? Like, why are you just shut up. You know,
and sit down.
You know,
but now outside the game, you guys.
Yeah. Exactly. But then I mean also like you guys didn't see is like a whole long 2-hour conversation after that, you know. And it was a bunch of like it was a lot of tears. If they showed it, people would have been crying, but there was a whole moment. And even with the other girls, I went and spoke to the other girls. I was like, shout at me. I know you guys are upset that I told you to shut up. Shout at me. Tell me how you really feel. I'll apologize to you guys even, because that's your friend, right? Yeah. So there's all like a bunch of stuff that can't make it onto TV. There's only like 60 minutes, right? So
that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good then. All right. So period. Overall, you're good. If you said everything you want to say, that's great. Let everybody know where they can find you in the future, other than All Stars.
Fingers crossed. So you can follow me on Instagram. It's Kuziva Kwashe __. Same thing on TikTok. On Twitter, I think it's Big Daddy King Ku. And then where else? Where else do people go?
That's mostly it.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And
So,
Big Brother Canada All Stars.
Sign me up. Immediately.
Period. And y'all can follow us at T Reality Kingdom everywhere. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, share the channel, whatever the fuck. Period. And we're out.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'll talk to you.